Okay, I've got some new material. I'll start with the moderately snappy, not so happy stuff, and then end with making you laugh. Is that okay? This one's called Cowtown, USA, 1976. We met downtown, outside of the Old Town Theater, near its new gazebo, built to beautify the area so people would linger. I remember it well. You wore a crisp new Western shirt, off-white with brown snaps. Your hat was tilted forward like John Wayne. And who could forget those cowboy boots and that shine, freshly polished, just for me? A friend in high school introduced us outside of agricultural classroom. Her and I would cruise the property where school allowed students like you to keep cattle and other livestock. It was smelly and always muddy. That afternoon, your breath and lips smelled and tasted sweeter than the candy we ate during the movie. Weeks later, friends told me they saw you with another gal in the same spot on our corner. Did you neck on the balcony and whisper to her about rodeo, riding broncos and steers? Does she know you plan to break others like us, leading each one out to pasture to chew on your words? This is from this chapbook series that I'm working on. It's called Avocado Green Kitchen with Gold Accented Childhood. And unless you were born in the 60s and grew up in the 70s with that, it's kind of like, it's like in your mind, you know. Can't stop thinking about how my parents' house looked. This is number 3. I never cared much for the taste of coffee, but the stench of it lingers in my nostrils. If we rose before Mom or Dad, it was an honor and a responsibility to make a fresh pot. 4 scoops of freeze-dried beans into the old percolator metal bed, then slip it into the tiny hole in the bottom of that pot, fill it with water, and plug it in. I like running the gold and red coffee grinder at our local A&P. I would press my chest and arms up against it while we made the loud 1-pound grounding noises, pull the lever, and out it comes spilling. You had to roll down the top of a bag to lock in its freshness, place it in our shopping cart, and off to find Mom. That was the real challenge. I like running the old... I apologize. Everyone in the house liked their cup of Joe Black but me. If I even gave it a minute of my time, staining Mom's shiny new speckled countertop with my clumsy overfill, I would slip whole cream and 6 teaspoonfuls of sugar into its depths. No matter how much I stirred, the coffee was bitter and left an oily film on my tongue. It's an acquired taste, they keep telling me. This one is Avocado Green Kitchen with a Gold Accented Childhood, number 2. When I watched Mama cook, I learned. If you squeeze lemon into milk, it will sour, replacing buttermilk for biscuits for a family with little to feed, because Daddy drank up his paycheck and found himself in the drunk tank for 2 days. The fill of the mix, flour, butter, eggs, baking soda, and the curdled white substance poured into the mixing bowl becomes very sticky. Mom said to throw flour on the counter before I dump it out. Excitement doesn't listen. She shows me how to roll it out and cut perfect browns with a cold glass. We have no money for a cutter, she says. Hunger waits for no one. And there is no need for butter or jelly on that hot, fat piece of bread that you can't wait to get into your mouth. I often wonder what would happen if milk sat out all day next to the hot stove. Could it become an even bigger monster than learning to fit in at school? This is number 1, and I don't know why they're out of sequence, but it doesn't matter. It's just memories. My parents bought a house away from the grind of poverty dwelling in the city. When we moved to the suburbs, everything was so shiny. All the houses, about every 4 or 5, looked exactly alike. No coloreds or Hispanics could afford it, they whispered, when everyone thought we were sound asleep. I didn't have to share a room with my brother, and my parents, like kids, did in duplexes across the street from the airport field we passed on the way to school. The only thing which was the same, my sister and I fought over which side of the bed to sleep. I fondly remember getting up in the middle of the night and turning on our new television and eating buttered bread. My shaking hands would roll it up into a ball, and then we would dip it in sugar and then wash it down with a big cold glass of milk and giggle because Mama didn't know. I sat really close to the screen so no one could hear the noise made when the channel switched to a still screen and our country's national anthem began to play. Hearing noises in the after silence, I would run back to my room and into the warmth of my sister. It wasn't long before we all learned the first owner died in the back master bedroom. He stepped on a rusty nail and lingered for months. It was the reason Daddy got the house so cheap. Okay.